Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this video, let me welcome you all to our channel Future Endeavors. Okay, so in the previous class, we have discussed about the various sources of energy. There are some non-renewable sources of energy which are more often used in today's time, and those are therefore called the conventional sources of energy. Whereas there are some other sources of energy which are not used extensively in respect of today's time, but they are getting importance and they are termed as renewable resources of energy or the non-conventional sources of energy. Okay, so today we are going to discuss how electricity is being produced from these various sources of energy. Why electricity? We are talking of because electricity is a versatile form of energy. It is a very useful form of energy, and if you think of the criteria of good source of energy, electricity or any source of electricity generally has all these characteristics. So electrical energy can be very easily used, it can be quite easily transported, and it is relatively safer to use, but you must take care to take some safety precautions while you are using electricity. That is very important. But nevertheless, even after if you take those precautions, the other forms of energy are relatively less safe to use in our day-to-day life. Okay, so let us come to the production of electricity. So production of electricity, make heading production of electricity. Okay, so electricity can be produced from various sources of energy. Okay, as we have discussed, there are various renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. We can utilize those sources of energy and produce electricity as and when required. Okay, so first of all we are going to discuss how electricity is produced using coal. So first we are going to see production of electricity using thermal energy. So using thermal energy. Okay, now when we are talking of production of electricity using thermal energy, there are basically two sources that we need to think of. Okay, thermal energy, that is heat energy, can be produced either by burning of coal, which is a non-renewable form of energy, and it can be also generated, heat can be also generated by use of nuclear reactions, for which we require nuclear fuels or nuclear elements, radioactive elements. Those elements or this source of energy is regarded as a renewable source of energy, because from very small amount we can generate huge amount of energy. So this nuclear energy or the availability of the radioactive elements is relatively higher. Okay, so first of all we are going to think of how electricity is produced from using coal. So using thermal energy, and under that I can make another subheading, it is from or use of coal. Okay, so thermal energy is generated by use of coal. Okay, now see, how can we generate electricity using coal? See, basically there are very basic steps that we are going to discuss. We are not going to enter into details. Okay, so just let us go through some block diagrams. It will be easier for you to understand. Okay, so use of coal. What you do? First of all, you burn coal. Okay, so first is thing that is burn coal. Burning of coal, what does it do? Burning of coal, it generates a lot of heat. It generates a lot of heat. Okay, generates a lot of heat. Now what we need to do with this heat? We need to utilize this heat. How we are going to utilize this heat? This heat is being utilized to convert water into steam. So this heat energy is used to convert water into steam. Water into steam. Okay, energy is used to convert water into steam. Now what else then? After this what happened? Now see, steam, if you have seen in your household or in your kitchen, often sometimes the water is boiled with a lid kept over the container. What happens when the water starts boiling and when vapor is being generated, the vapor actually pushes out the lid starts to vibrate or moves So you can easily understand that the steam which is being produced, when it flows or it is allowed to flow, can actually move certain things. Okay, so this steam generated is used to what it is used? It is just allowed to flow and hit the blades of the turbine. Now what are turbines? Turbines, okay, just first of all let me write it down. So this steam, flowing steam hits the blades of turbines. Okay, now what are turbines? Now turbines are mechanical structures that have large blades. Okay, that are basically large blades. Those blades, what they do, those blades can rotate. They are being attached on an axle. Okay, axle, and it rotates. Now when this turbine blades rotates, okay, that is the shaft or the axle of the turbine rotates, what happens with that? The generator is coupled or it is attached. Now when the turbine rotates, similarly the generator also starts rotating. Now in the generator, what happens? This, when the generator rotates, okay, when the generator rotates, it can produce electricity. How? That mechanism is not in our syllabus currently. We will be discussing it in later class. Okay, so the turbine rotates, simultaneously generator rotates, okay, causing the mechanical energy to convert into electrical energy, E, divided by E. Okay, how the process, that is the basic principle that is being used here is called electromagnetic induction, principle of electromagnetic induction. So the principle it uses is principle of, just note it down, we will discuss in the later class, principle of electromagnetic induction, EMI. This is not the installment or the equated monthly installment, this is rather the full form is electromagnetic induction. Okay, so this is the step. So in this few steps we can generate electricity. There are many details, we will not be discussing those in details because not in our syllabus. So I think you can very easily understand that how with the use of coal we can generate electricity. Now when we are instead of using coal, if we use radioactive elements, the flow diagram will be almost same, just first block will be changed. If the first block will be changed, what will be the first block? Okay, so I will be not erasing of the diagram, but for you, all of you who are watching the video, have to draw the diagram once again. Okay, so the second point is use of radioactive elements. It is also called the nuclear energy. Okay, so use of radioactive elements. Now what are these radioactive elements? Also we will discuss this in later class. Okay, so this is called nuclear energy. Okay, nuclear energy. Okay, fine, nuclear energy. What happens in the just the first block has to be changed. Here we do not burn coal, rather we use radioactive elements that undergoes certain nuclear reactions. So here the radioactive elements are used that undergo nuclear reactions, not atomic or chemical reactions. These are nuclear reactions, very different from chemical reactions. Remember, these are quite different from chemical reactions. You will be learning about these nuclear reactions and the chemical reactions as you go higher up in the later classes. Okay, so the first block will be just only changed. We use radioactive elements that undergo nuclear reaction, and in that nuclear reaction a lot of heat is generated. That lot of heat generated causes the water to convert into steam. The rest are the same steps. The steam goes on to hit the blades of the turbine. The turbine rotates, and with the turbine the generator is connected, so the generator rotates, causing the mechanical energy to convert into electrical energy using the principle of electromagnetic induction. Okay, so is it clear? So these are the two ways by which you can generate electricity using the thermal energy, generating the thermal energy or utilizing thermal energy. Okay, fine. So I think these steps are clear. Now, second, we can use, if you have not just copied this block diagram, pause the video and just copy it. I will be just using it off. Okay, fine. So the second way we can generate electricity is use of hydel energy or energy of the flowing water. Okay, so the second step or the second process, the second way that you can use energy using hydro, or another said it, hydel energy. Okay, hydel energy. Okay, so let us just write it as hydro energy. So what is hydro energy? Basically it is nothing but the energy of the flowing water. So what is being done here? Here basically we when there is a heavy rainfall, the water from the rainfall is stored in large dams. Okay, so first of all, water from rainfalls are stored in large dams. This is the first step. Are stored in large dams. This is the first step. Okay, are stored in large dams. Then when there is proper time comes, this water, actually when the water is stored in large dams, what does this water have? It has tremendous amount of potential energy. Okay, now at a certain intervals of time, this water stored is being allowed to flow. Okay, so the stored water is allowed to flow through channels. Okay, through channels. What does it cause? When this water is allowed to flow through the channels, basically what happens, the potential energy of the stored water gets converted into kinetic energy. So here the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy simply. Potential energy converted to kinetic energy. Then this flowing water, which has kinetic energy, again goes on to hit the blades of the turbine. Again the remaining steps are same. So the next step is that this flowing water hits blades of turbines. Okay, as a result the turbine rotates, so that turbine rotates. Okay, so that turbine rotates. So this is the next step. Okay, then ultimately the last step that is coming, that with the turbine the generator is being attached. So as a result, when the turbine rotates, the generator also rotates. Okay, so generator that is being coupled with the turbine. Here the meaning of coupled is disconnected. Coupled with turbine also rotates, causing mechanical energy to convert into electrical energy, E. Again by the principle of electromagnetic induction, EMI. Okay, so these are the steps that are involved in the production of electricity from energy stored in water. Okay, so I think the concept is clear. Okay, so today we will end our class here. In the next class we will be discussing few more methods. We will be also discussing about the various sources of energy, the renewable and non-renewable sources of energy in slightly details concept. Okay, till then please do study well. If you have any query, mention it in the comment box. We'll be happy to solve your problem. Okay, see you in the next class. Goodbye.